Tonight, the Tahoka Animal Shelter is pleading for adoptions. Several of its animals are scheduled to be euthanized in just a matter of days.
KCBD News Channel 11 Sydney Lowther visited the shelter and tells us why it is in this dire situation.
When they get from the puppy stage to the teenage stage, people kick them outside.
John Arrington is the only animal control officer at the City of Tahoka Animal Shelter. And with only 7 kennels, he can't keep up with the number of dogs he finds on the streets.
On average in a day, probably 3 a day. I could pick up more. Some days I don't pick up, just because I'm full.
A full shelter is something Arrington says he encounters way too often. And Tahoka is not big enough to find a home for every dog.
About half of my job is to do the networking and, Facebook and things of that nature and trying to get people out.
He says euthanasia is a last resort, but he doesn't have the space or funds to keep every dog.
I can see more dogs piling up around town, so I go and try to get some to rescues or things of that nature, or I have to put them down.
That is the case for all of these dogs who are scheduled to be euthanized on Tuesday. Arrington says pleading with the community and rescues is all he can do to get them adopted.
The dogs are worth coming and picking them up and taking them, giving them a good home.
The shelter has 3 sibling puppies waiting for a forever family.
Very active, very loving. I mean, I had kids out here playing with them. They throw the ball with them. They pull the tug-of-war with the ropes.
And 2 boxer mixes excited to play with siblings.
I had 3 people come out to look at the dogs, and they brought their dogs to make sure they interact good. They had no problems with them.
Adopting one of these furry friends can have a significant impact on your life and save theirs. Sydney Lowther, KCBD News Channel 11.